All right, I'm Pops, and yeah, I know. The image that you want to see right now. The Spawn intro should tell you I'm going to talk about the Spawn universe. In this case, I'm going to talk about Sam and Twitch, something that I've reread and enjoyed. But yeah, Kevin Smith was actually attached to develop a TV series based on Sam and Twitch, something that, I mean, I kind of remember seeing, but didn't really embrace. And the news had come around that we're going to see Sam and Twitch again, but it's been a while, and I started to ask, is this actually going to happen or not? So the original thing was with Todd McFarlane and Kevin Smith, as I mentioned, and it was in development. It's sort of a, get ready for the Jay and Silent Bob of cops. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And, look at it now. It's like, I think naturally, my bent on almost anything is always darker than most people's, McFarlane said. And it's so true. It's like, um, why would he want to hand something over to some comedic buffoonery as Kevin Smith was beside me? But it didn't happen, and now we're looking at. I've gotten to the point that the company wants to make the announcement. I'm not really inclined to hype something. BBC, lovely lady there, talks about it, and then talks about how I have to put it off to the side. It's okay because the Twitch character is going to play a big part in the Spawn script. So they're working on TV and movie stuff. They have been this whole time. And Sam and Twitch doesn't really have a spot, I don't think. I think it's sort of that place where it doesn't quite work for some of the sensibilities that Kevin Smith was known for. So I think we kind of dodged a bullet by not seeing that. But I have to ask, are we going to get Sam and Twitch? I think it's a great, great story, and I want to get to that at some point. But can you imagine? Look at the image. The image to me told it all. And I know that he has this very effeminate soy boy look about him now, but yeah, that is not what I want to see. So this was a couple years ago now. The Hollywood Reporter had talked about this is coming back around again, and the Spawn universe was looking at bringing, more of Sam and Twitch into the TV conversation. And it says the indie studios teaming the project with Jason Similek and Todd Katzberg penning the adaptation. They're known as doing Condor. There was different conversations that were kind of in the works, but nothing really came to play. McFarlane noted that Hollywood's most successful shared universes like Marvel, DC, Star Wars had the groundwork laid for them over decades. So he really does believe that Spawn, which is, now it's been 30 years when this wasn't when the announcement, that we're at this point now. Could there be a third or fourth big shared universe? Possibly. But is it going to happen fast with one or two individuals? No. It's going to be a long multi-creator group that's going to have to spread your creative seeds, stand back, and hope it grows into a forest. All the type of things that we would want to hear them say about stuff that we like. And that kind of takes us to Sam and Twitch. Now, this is kind of an obscure comic book, I think, for many readers. Brian Michael Bendis did this work. It's been, 1999. It's been a long time. And it really reads as just an incredibly unique style as well. The art is phenomenal. This is a piece of the story where Twitch is basically in this coffee house. And look at the way the panels are done below, where he's basically starts sharing his story. He sees this pretty girl. She's talking to him. And that's kind of how the story is told over the course of 8 issues. And, as it plays out, you get different transitions of them as a couple, as a pair. Angel Medina does a lot of the art, and it's called Udaku, I think is how you would say it. And the story is that there's this murder where you have, first they find like 4 or 5 fingers, they find ears, they find other body parts, and they don't really know what to make of any of this. And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And Sam, of course, is this bombastic, heavy guy. They talk about his blood pressure, everything else. And then Twitch is this, neurotic, weird, strange guy behind those glasses. And there's a comment about like, go home to your wife. And he's like, well, my wife left me, because they've been on this case. It's destroying them. And I think that the fact that these two characters are so different, it's sort of a X-Files feel to things, because they are indeed in the Spawn universe. Like it gets forgotten sometimes. But this is a very grisly, dark, bloody comic book series. Here, what they start piecing together is who all the victims are. This is another victim, and just out of the blue, he's at an event with this girl. She's pink-haired, shaved weirdos, the tattoos, sort of like this weird goth thing. It turns out there's like this virus thing that's going around, and basically, they're confronted. They're confronted by the FBI, internal affairs, it just, everything is keep trying to put them in the line of fire of questioning and being problematic. And it just keeps getting darker and darker and stranger as things kind of move along. And I think that once you get deeper into this and you start to see the characters unfold, and you do have this little, by the way, I want to get to the fact that there was this cameo by Spawn. He briefly shows up and they basically just tell him to, get off, F off. And it actually is kind of funny because it's like, you actually thought, well, maybe there are supernatural elements at play, a being that could regenerate, something that is beyond the scope of our understanding. And as soon as he appears, he's dismissed. So as it kind of unfolds and they kind of trace leads back to this guy who knows a little bit about what otaku is, and he just self-deletes. And it's graphic and it's intense, and we cut right into more. And it just kind of keeps going before they get kind of caught up in the middle of the chaos. They get caught up with these shadowy, bizarre figures. Twitch is face to face down this manhole, ends up getting a shot off. Sam sees and hears it. He's firing. Everyone's injured. Everything is a mess. And of course, this is the mafia lord. Yeah, they're well aware that something bigger than them is going on. Someone's targeting their entire family, and they're not having it. They're not having it. And it is an interesting little story. Like I said, it's about 8 issues. I'm sure there's a trade paperback. I want to give you some samples of how the art is done with the different styles of the frame. Look at how the dialogue is done. Very, very different, very unique and interesting, worthy of some adaptation, worthy of some conversation. You do have, this is the key. So this lady is the widow of one of the police officers that's killed in the middle of all of this, gives them the key. And then you have a scene that follows this because it's never what you think it is. She's like, I gave him the key. So there's more with what is her involvement in all this. This is the medical examiner, and you can see the back and forth of what she's figuring out when she's figuring it out, communicating that with Twitch, and then trying to piece together what's actually going on in the story. I think this really would play as a great TV season. I don't know that I would drag this out. I think 6 episodes is more than enough. I don't think we need to drag this out. I think we could introduce both characters. We can become fond of both characters. They're very different, very interesting. I think that TV would do well to having both Spawn supernatural type elements being adapted and something grounded like this, which is sort of like True Detective, but almost, I don't know about Raw, but almost like True Detective in like Dark City or something. True Detective in that gritty, dark vein. So anyway, that's my take on it. Will we ever get Sam and Twitch? I don't know. Is it a fun read? It's got a, I'm not real thrilled with the ending. I didn't care for some of the, what the twist and the turn really was about what was going on, but I didn't hate it either. I think that it's an okay read. I will say that I would like to see some of this manifest in some way, shape, or form. So that's my take on it. I am Pops. Thank you so much for listening.